it's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel, tap that notification bell, and like this video. That helps me to keep making videos, and I would appreciate it majorly. So, got a leaky shower faucet. This is the full bath that's in the basement. That actually, we had the dude who does all of our major work and on my parents' rental properties put this bathroom in. Love this bathroom. The basement's not finished. It's just the bath that we put in. It was already here, the remnants of a bathroom that was basically just, it was framed out with disgusting drywall. There was no floor whatsoever. It was just a concrete floor of the basement. They put in the tile and other things. They redid the drywall. They put in the sink. They basically redid the entire bathroom, put in a heating unit that's part of the entire home's heating system, baseboard heating and so forth, baseboard, brand new door, etc. And the way it's set up, it's backwards. In order to turn it on, you pull it down instead of putting it up. It was installed upside down. It might have been that way for a reason, because the water pipes were such that they came in on the wrong side, so that the hot is probably on the right versus in the cold on the left, when it was supposed to be the other way around. I'm really not sure. I think there was a reason why it does that, but it leaks. So when you turn this on, let me turn it around so I can show you. I'm gonna turn it on right now, and hopefully it goes right into my bucket. So it's just leaking and it's got issues. So I'll just pull it open and take a look at it and see if I can't make it better by putting an entire internal unit in there. Just turn the water off, and I can see in here that it's just different than it's probably supposed to be. I don't even know. I don't know how it's normally set up. So I already turned this off. And at first I thought the other. I don't know if this is the hot or the cold. One comes in from the top, one comes in from the bottom. I can just think that that's something that it's not supposed to be that way. But the other off is actually, there it is, on the other side facing up. And that should, you can't really see it in there. It's behind there. And I just turned it off, so that should be off. Okay. Let me get it open. First, take the cover off of the handle here. I used my fingernail, or a little flathead screwdriver, whatever, or maybe even a tiny little blade, just to pop it off of there without breaking it, so that you can get to that screw. Remove the handle, because you can't remove this cover, this sort of wall plate here. Without removing that first. The handle is off. I'm going to remove these two screws next. I have a feeling I'm going to end up twisting that to expose the unit further, but I'm not even sure. So I'll just go with these first, just so I can see what's going on better. It's got to come off anyways. You just turn this, and I tighten it. There you go. Pretty tight, but a cloth helps sometimes. So you have a couple different items in there. This guy, this dude, which is on the end of that, and then this covers the whole thing and screws over the top of it, and then these two washers in there. And I believe there's a spring. There are springs behind them. So, yeah, man. I'm gonna try to. I think those washers may be too big. I'm hopeful, and I'm pretty hopeful because I don't think they should be sticking out quite that much. I mean, almost I know them from the stem, like a faucet stem. It's just a regular sink. After I removed it, you know, you got 3 pieces. I kind of didn't show these very well. The dome that screws off, and another individual was indicating, I just watched somebody else's YouTube video, that you know, careful unscrewing this. A lot of times you might need a pair of plumber's pliers like this, and you can, you know, put a piece of cloth, a rag over top of it so you don't scratch it if you want. But he also indicated that you got to be careful, otherwise you could potentially just rip the piping that's you know, behind the shower and destroy it. In which case, the entire thing needs to be cut out and re-sweat in, etc. But he called this the can, and it's got, you know, this plastic piece as well as the rubber washer that's, you know, spherical in shape, and then a stainless steel ball. And I think that's not a problem right there. I'm hopeful that my problem is the washers that I pulled out of there. This is them there, and well, this is one of them. 2 of them were in here, okay? Let me turn it around. So these, this washer here, and it's kind of concave there on the top, which almost makes me think it's proper, but there was one of these in each of the 2 bottom things, and this is backwards. This is upside down. This, in a normal situation, would be reversed. These 2 would be on top, and the single one would be on bottom. The single one doesn't get a washer. You know, I don't think that matters. So, but when this is in there, and you can usually just pull it out of there with, I use a flathead screwdriver. That should be flush, you know, to inside the thing, you know, and it's sticking out. And even if you push it as hard as you can, it doesn't fit in there. And I think it's just too, it's just slightly off. Whatever the repair kit, because these things comes as repair kits. You know, it might not have been the actual Delta one, or just time has changed, and the latest Delta kit is a little bit, you know, just off. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go look to see if there isn't one that fits in there. When you push it in, basically it remains flush, and clean it all up and reassemble it. And hopefully I can get it to not leak. But I mean, this thing seems good. You know, there's nothing. It's a very simple, you know, simple device, you know, which is great. So, because when something goes bad, you just have to change these 2 things. Let's see. Let me get to it. The manufacturer's name, in this case Delta, should appear in several places. You know, that's there. It's there. And you're going to want to stick to that manufacturer when you go to the hardware store, Home Depot, Ace, whatever, Lowe's, to find your repair kit or whatever it is you're trying to replace. That's usually pretty critical. That's the Delta shower repair kit right there, and that's a flat washer, dude. So that's what I need right there, which I'm thrilled about, because now I know that's just the problem. Looks very similar to the ones that for a handle on a sink stem Delta that I've changed, and you know, I don't think I even need this whole repair kit. I just need to find that. But it's flat, and I'm just really quite happy. You might not be able to see that, but it's not that concave sort of bigger. Actually, I have it in my pocket. It's not that's got like a different thing to it that's bigger, you know. That almost looks like these, so I should be good. In fact, that's it right there, dude. The springs are right, I think, just not the rubber part. Yeah. See it, it's flat. It's not concave. All right. That's the exact kit I think that was used. I think I need that, and instead of that. So this is the kit, but it's a Danko for Delta, you know. So and there's the actual boots with the same ones with the rounded edges here, but that same thing is Danko for Delta. I'm getting the Delta. So they're identical anyways. I'm just being picky and stuff. So I think I'm good. I think this does the trick, and I'm gonna try it. I'm pretty sure that's it, man. Yo, hello. I got my parts, and I made a mistake. I left my wallet at home. I had to go all the way home, get my wallet, come back, and actually I left my parts that I brought with me there. Fortunately, they were still there, and actually one of the dudes that works there, I mean, some Home Depots have some really excellent employees, like that are former plumbers, electricians that work there at nights and part-time, you know, or that are semi-retired. There's one dude there who's very knowledgeable, extremely. Anyways, and he steered me right, and I would have made a mistake had I not made those errors and leaving my wallet and then leaving the other stuff there. So where's my I don't think I need the whole kit, and I'm not going to use the whole kit. You know, mine is just fine. And in fact, the one I showed you in the Home Depot, you have to make sure you stick with what you have, you know, because that's what is for this particular, valve. So I have the diamond, and that's what he said as soon as because he had looked at it. He had looked at the thing while it was sitting there in my bag on the shelf there. And he said, make sure you get the diamond. That diamond's critical. I was possibly going to get the one that has like an opening instead of this little slot. It has almost like a triangle there. Here's all my stuff. I mean, basically, this is what I need, and that's what I'm going to use. I just need these washers, man. This was $4. I'm almost positive that's what I need. This is my old one that's just too big. The kit. And it's the same in this one, you know. Even the Danko one for Delta, as well as this has two. I'm pretty sure this has 2 sets of washers in there too. The Danko for maybe not, man. Maybe this one only has the 1 set. But I don't need it. It does only have the 1 set. Okay. Well, the Danko has 2 sets, and the wrong set got used. The Delta kit only has 1 set, as best as I can see, and it is. It's just 1 set, and it's the proper ones, which actually tells me I'm doing totally the right thing. And this is some silicone grease that I'm gonna, use to lube up the ball, and also the rubber boot washers and springs before I put them in there, and even the inside of that. I cleaned it out really good. It looks pretty nice. I'm feeling fairly confident. I bought a drain while I was at it that should snap right on here, I believe, right on that inside. I'm hoping that's the right size. I believe it is. And go from there. So I'm going to start to put this together and see how it goes. I have the rubber washers on top of the springs. I believe they're called seats. I call them rubber washers or boots, but I think they're technically called seats and springs, and now I'm going to insert them into those two bottom holes. I believe that top hole, which again, this assembly is upside down. It's incorrect. It has to be that way for reasons I already stated. I believe that top hole, though, is what goes to the shower head. So, I'll explain how that turns from cold to hot and stuff when I get to the ball, the sphere. They're in there very nicely. I have not pushed down at all anything yet. I believe I'm going to go ahead and push down a little bit. Now I think that's proper. They're up, but I believe once I put the sphere in there, put some silicone grease on it, put it in there, and screw it on, it's going to push those down. And I believe that's the way it should be. Before they were sticking up way too high, I believe. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and, put this in there and screw it on, but let me just indicate a few things. That little plastic nub needs to go into that slot, and it won't push in there right away, but as you screw on the other piece that goes over top of this, the dome, it will squeeze into, but it's got to be lined up with that. These 3 holes are on both the top and bottom of the sphere. As I understand it, basically as you turn back and forth on your knob, those line up with the 2 that are down below and the top one that goes up to the nozzle, to the shower. So you're diverting hot and cold as you turn left and right, as you turn this diamond shaped thing left and right. And that's what I was saying before. The guy said, you got a diamond one, you got to replace it with a diamond one. I'm not replacing it. I'm keeping this. I want to replace the seats. But when I was talking about diamond versus triangular, I was sort of mixing up shapes because this is my diamond, this, the thing that's sticking out. But when I was talking about triangular shape, I was referring to another kit that instead of this slot, this single slot that goes up and down, on the plastic piece there was one that had a triangular opening that allowed the knob to move more freely. And I thought that might help me compensate for the fact that mine is upside down. But he indicated you need to replace it with what you have, even though, as I've said, for probably the 3rd time, I'm not replacing it. I'm just using the same thing I had on there. But like I said, I've replaced the seats. All right, I'm going to put it on and get to screwing it together. It's on there hand tight. I'm not tightening it with pliers unless I need to. I don't believe I need to. It's on there pretty tight. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the water, both the hot and cold, and I'm not going to mess with this. But this is how you change from hot to cold. That diamond, I don't want to scratch it too much. You can twist it back and forth, but I don't want to ruin that. So I'm going to turn on both hot and cold and test it before I put it all together to see if it leaks out of this and see how good I am. I'm hopeful. Turning the water on. Whoa, actually the water's on in there. Shoot. Just barely. Actually, remember, mine is upside down, so I just turned it off. I was trying to turn it on. Pressure's good up there. And I don't see any leaking. I'm pretty good. I think I can put that together. I got to thread in the screws and make sure they line up to the holes that are on the other side. I may need to stick them through and then go and sort of put a flashlight and line them up to the holes because it's very difficult to see through there and get it lined up. But I think I'm looking good. I'm looking good. Very important. I had forgotten to put this piece on prior to my dome and tightening it up. That was a big mistake because that does not fit over top of that. So for yourself, make sure you put this on before you tighten your dome, put your dome on and put it all together because you can't get it over tight to just take that off and start over, but no big deal. But you don't want to have to do that. So I have one screw in and I actually have it in through the hole. That did take a fair amount of doing, of going back and forth until it lined up just right, and I just kept going past it each time. But I got one in, and I'm definitely making progress. I got both those screws in those holes. It was quite difficult to get. Hopefully I'm getting all that in there. I had to go back and forth. I kept overshooting it and, have to push up on the screw to get it come down at an angle, but straight both, this way too. Crazy. But I got it, and so I'm so happy. It's all put together, and I'm going to try it out. The water's on, both hot and cold. The hot is heated by the boiler, and the boiler's off. I have the power off on it so that it doesn't just waste fuel because it's a home heating oil. To continuously heat hot water that I don't use. So I have it off, and that kind of changes the pressure possibly on the hot water. That's not important, but let's try it, man. I'm looking really good. I'm pretty sure it's fixed. And, you know, cold, hot. I don't know if those are backwards. I would really like to know that, but I just don't know. But there's no leaking, you know. And we look great. The pressure looks great. I got one last thing to do, and I'm done. I put a bead, nice bead of caulk around, you know, the cover plates, and I'm done here. It doesn't leak anymore. The drain I got didn't work for me. I'm gonna have to find something different that works better for that. But I'm done. Leaky shower faucet no longer leaks, and it's fixed. And that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.